Hey friends, it's Elizabeth here. Thanks so much for joining me for week 37 in my digital yearbook. This is an 8x10 photo book that I'm going to be printing at the end of 2022, and I am documenting weekly. So I am starting off with this two-page spread template that I've created and is available in my shop. I will have it linked down below. And my first step when I am creating these digital layouts is to add my photos. As you can see, I've also added some embellishments and pocket page cards from the Ali Edwards Community Story Kit, just to remind myself that I want to use them this week. But for the most part, my very first step in these digital process videos is always to add in my photos. So as you can see, I'm doing that to the left side of the page. I decided on a grid style for the left side, and then I'm going to have a full page 8x10 photo on the right. You're going to see me add that here in a second. I felt very inspired to use those nested heart wood veneer pieces. That was something that I saw Amy Gretchen use in the Story Kit classroom, and I really loved how she used them as kind of the focal points of her layouts, and I wanted to try to emulate that in this digital layout. I believe Amy used them as transparency pieces, so she would put them and back them on transparencies. Obviously, I can't do that because I'm working digitally, but I am going to try to emulate that throughout the spread. And just like when I'm doing a physical spread, if something is not working for me, like those hearts, I will go back to something that I have a clear idea about and return to whatever is giving me problems at the moment. So as you can see, I'm going to go over to the right side of the layout and I'm adding a large photo. So as you can see, because my photo was taken in landscape format, it doesn't completely fit into the 8x10 size, but that's okay because I wanted to use this love word art. I really love how painterly it is, and I thought it worked perfectly as a sentiment for this side of my spread. So this love word art only comes in a pocket page card. So to get that by itself, I'm going to use the magic wand tool to select the background of the pocket page card. I'm going to right click and then click on the option for select inverse, which is pretty much going to select the word art instead of the background. And then I'm going to right click again and say layer via copy. And as you can see, I have just the word art when I deselect the background layer. So here I am with just the word art. I'm going to add that to that white space below my photo, and I'm also going to scale it a bit so that it takes up a little bit more space. I could have added more journaling to that side, but since I'm going to journal about my daughter's birthday on the next spread, I figured I would just leave that just for the word art. And then I'm going to go over to my chipboard, my digital chipboard, and I'm going to add one of those circle chipboards that says "So thankful for these people," and I'm going to add that to the middle of my O. So now that I finished up the right side, I'm going to go back to the left side and work on that middle row. So at the right side of that middle row, I'm going to add one of the pocket page cards that says "My People" as just a repeated element at the bottom of that card. I'm going to add some journaling to that about my daughter and my husband. And then I'm going to be moving some of those nested hearts around a little bit to make embellishment clusters. The first one that I'm going to work on is this bronzy gold heart at the bottom on that 4x6 photo, and I'm going to go with one of my old standbys, which is to create my own word phrase sticker, and I'm going to do that by using the sticker sheet that comes in the kit. I do that by using the rectangular marquee tool to choose the phrase that I want to add, right-clicking on my marching ants, and then selecting layer via copy. That gives me the sentiment in its own layer. I added the "So thankful for you" to that one heart, and then I'm just going to add a background by simply adding a rectangle to the layer behind the sentiment and choosing the color that I want to add. I'm going to use that same process to create another heart embellishment cluster up on the top right with that rust colored heart. I added the sentiment "In my life" to that one, and then I'm going to work on that heart shaped journaling that I have in the middle left. I'm going to create kind of a washi strip by adding some pattern paper to the very bottom of the 3x4 card, and then I'm just going to click create clipping mask to make it kind of a border at the bottom. I really liked the journaling spots that were available in that one card that I created from one of the 6x8 pattern papers, but the sentiment on the top didn't really fit with the rest of my layout, so I'm going to be using the healing brush tool to essentially erase that sentiment from my card. You can kind of tell a little bit, but it will be covered by my date, which I am typing out right now. And I also add a tiny little pink heart to the middle of my two dates just to add some extra interest to that top card as well as some more color. And that is this part of the week completed. So I'm going to open up a fresh template in Photoshop. I'm going to change the template so that I have a full page photo on the left. And then I'm just going to do the same process. I'm going to add all of my photos to the grid part of my layout. And then I am going to work on adding my journaling cards and embellishing. So one of the things that I like to do is repeat design elements through both layouts. So you're going to see that I will add another one of those faux washi strips at the bottom of one of my 3x4 cards. I just change the color of the 3x4 card to white, and then I will add my background and choose create clipping mask to just add it at the very bottom of my card. For that middle spot, I'm going to use a 4x6 card from the kit and make that into a 3x4 card. So the original 4x6 card had the days of the week with journaling spots and kind of a random order. It went from left to right. So on that right side, it was, I believe, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And I wanted it to say Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I am just going to use my rectangular marquee tool to go ahead and snip the words that I want to add to the right side of that card. So I'm going to start off with the Thursday using the rectangular marquee tool and layer via copy, and I'm just moving that up to the top box. I'm going to do the same thing for Friday and add that to the second box. So now it reads Thursday, Friday. And then I'm going to create a slightly larger rectangle for Sunday so that I can move it over to the right side and make it look like that box is a tad bit smaller. So I'm going to make it look like the other boxes above it, as you can see right there. Then I am going to make sure to merge all of the layers that I was working with so that when I move the card, everything stays the same. And then I'm just going to create a clipping mask to add that to my 3x4 card. I wanted to add those same nested heart elements to the left side of my page, so I end up choosing that rust colored heart and then creating another word phrase sticker with the stickers from the kit. I chose the "So Thankful for You" phrase, and I'm going to back that with a white rectangle. And I think in a second here, I'm actually going to change the hearts that flank that one. Yep, I'm going to replace those blue nested hearts with this graph paper chipboard heart. I'm going to add one of those on each side. I actually end up adding them a little bit closer to that rust colored embellishment cluster. But once I am done doing that, I am also going to add in my journaling, which you're going to see here in just a second. And my final step for this layout is going to be adding some embellishments to the right side of the spread. I add this Love This Connection chipboard piece to that 3x4 card at the very bottom. And then I'm also going to add another heart embellishment cluster using that blue nested heart to the photo of my husband and my daughter putting together Legos. I back the nested heart with some of the paper from one of the pocket page cards that says "My People," and then add another one of my word phrase stickers to the top of that. And that is week 37 completed and in my album. Thanks so much for joining me, and have a great day.